me fire everything up. Just take about 30 seconds and then yep. Just waiting for it to come up. Here we go. All right, we are live. Marlon, we're live.
Okay.
All right.
This is the Town of Pembroke Park Workshop Commission meeting, virtual meeting at 6 p.m. Virtual instructions today, Wednesday, April 27th, 2022, 6 p.m. You can join the meeting by going to Go to Meeting. The number to call in, the toll-free number is 1-866-899-4679. The number is 1-866-899-4679. And the other number is 1-571-317-3116. That number is 1-571-317-3116. The access number to go into the meeting is 155-216-365. Again, that access code number is 155-216-365. All the information has already been uploaded to the website and to our in our website and iCompass. So the meeting is open.
Okay, so call to order. Time is 6:04. Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of
America,
America,
republic for which it stands,
one nation,
under God, indivisible.
with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins. I need you to unmute yourself, sir. Was that a present?
I think he's still muted. Are you muted?
Present.
Oh, yeah, I could hear you now.
There's a bit of a delay with this signal, everybody.
No.
Okay. All right. So Clerk Commissioner Hodgkins is here. Vice Mayor DeVille?
Yes.
Vice Mayor DeVille?
Here.
And Mayor Jacobs will be joining us in about 15 minutes.
I couldn't hear you, Marlon.
I said Mayor Jacobs will be joining us in a few minutes. Can you hear me now?
No, Marco, really bad connection. Mark?
Can you hear me now?
You can't hear her? You want to sit in the car?
No, if it's,
Her?
I can't hear anybody.
Were you able to hear us before? You want to try leaving the meeting and coming back in?
Are you talking to me, Mark?
Yes, sir.
No, I'll try to switch it from Wi-Fi to just phone signal. Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
I can hear you.
Okay, number 5, additions, deletions, or withdrawals to the agenda. Any changes, Commissioner Hodgkin?
No.
Okay, presentations, lobbyists provided updates. We have the report. Mr. Stevenson, do you have anything else you'd like to add or comment on?
I don't.
Mr. Stevenson, I was seeing if he's on the line.
I don't think he's on. This is the town attorney. I don't see him on.
Okay. Number 7.1, Broward Sheriff's Office, reports. Anybody on, Mark?
This is Chief Kane for Fire Rescue. If you can hear me, I can give my report real quick.
Okay,
there you
Broward Sheriff is not here.
Can you hear me?
Okay, 7.2, yes, Chief Kane.
Yeah, this is Chief Kane. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you fine, go ahead.
Okay, very quickly. For the month of March, the town of Pembroke Park ran 11 structure fires, 49 vehicle accidents, 8 fire alarms, 132 medical assists, and 4 service calls for a total of 204 incidents. That would conclude my report. I just kept it brief, guys, because I know this is a little bit new for us.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
The Broward Sheriff is here. We'll go back to 7.1.
Yes, good evening, sir. Good evening, all. For the Lieutenant Gerard Charles at the Broward Sheriff's Office, for the month of March 2022, we had 642 calls for service. 381 were 911 calls, 162 were non-911 calls, 61 were field-initiated calls, and 38 park walk and talks. Regarding accident, we had a total of 62 accidents, 18 involved accidents with injuries. Deputies issued 10 citations and made 12 arrests for various offenses. There were no Part 1 crimes at the mobile home parks. And regarding Part 1 crimes within the town, we had 3 auto thefts, 2 thefts regarding trucks. We had 3 burglary vehicles, 1 burglary residence, 1 robbery, 2 sexual batteries, and 2 motor vehicle parts theft. Those involved catalytic converters. One of the burglary conveyances that we had, we did make an arrest. That's the one which involved multiple firearms. There was an arrest, search warrant conducted on that, and suspect was taken into custody. And as a reminder, 2 of the vehicle burglaries, both vehicles were unlocked. I'd like to remind town residents and the business owners to make sure that they lock their vehicles and secure their belongings and not leave them out in the open. And that concludes my report, sir. I'll be more than happy to answer any questions you may have.
Thank you. Any questions from Commissioner Hodgkins?
No, none.
Thank you.
No questions, thank you. Building Department, Building Official Nunez. 8.1 monthly
Good
report.
afternoon. Good afternoon, Miguel Nunez, building official. For the month of March, the building department continued to excel for our internal and external customers. Not that I say it, all of our customers have been saying that we are still the best in Broward County. In regards by the numbers, all our categories, as you can see in the report, has going up substantially. From permits issue, that includes commercial and residential, permits closed went up, inspections went up completely, front counter basis, double permit fees, for a total on the inspection part, 385 inspections, related to 307 for last month. In regards to the amnesty program, we have, on the month of March, we have additional 4 applications for a total of 31 applicants. Out of those 31 applicants, as I mentioned on the previous month, we were adding 3 additional months for them to be in compliance out of the initial submission of permits because of the architects and engineers are very, very busy. By doing that, that allowed us to have 3 certifications out of mobile homes and structures that are out of the building department right now, and we are just processing it through the finance department and the city manager's office and the town manager's office. In regards to the revenue, we collected close to 75% in addition from last month for a total of $80,344.43. And in regards to the large projects, all of them are still in the books. But there are two outlines that I would like to mention. The first one is the car wash. The car wash was issued while we're still doing in pre-plan and for the main building. Yesterday, we issued the clear and grubbing so they can start the process of the cleaning and they require erosion and sedimentation control on their site. And we're just waiting for the contractor to continue with the process, which I assume that should be done by the end of this week or early next week. Also, just in that is not in this report, but just happened today, and I would like to notify the commission and the senior management. What we call the Wawa site, we call it like that, but it's technically 3 buildings. We had a meeting yesterday, and we've been having a meeting today. I even met today on the field, on the site with the principals, and they are requesting a clear and grubbing that is expected to be issued tomorrow. So they will start the process on Monday, and that's a facility that the building department we are issuing. The reason is because they cannot start the underground utilities and everything because we don't have Broward County, but they can start cleaning the job site, grading it, taking all the trees out and things like that without Broward County at this point in time. But they cannot continue more than that. But that was decided between yesterday and today, and that's expected to start on Monday, just to let you know. And that will conclude my monthly report for the building department. If you have any questions, I'll be more than glad to answer them.
I have one question with the Pembroke Park Plaza. You
Yes,
said
sir.
that the certificate of occupancy, does that mean we have 3 businesses now?
We have 3 businesses already in the plaza. There are 7 units in there, so that means we have 4 more that are vacant, and we've been receiving information that they may have a couple of extra tenants in there. We're just waiting to complete the units.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Any questions, Hodgkins? No. Guess not. All right, 8.2, purchase of vehicle for building department.
Okay, this is the Miguel Nunez building official again. This is the request to the commission. So the building department can add another vehicle to our operations. The impact of this particular vehicle is going to be not to exceed $24,000, and there is a caveat on that. If you look into the program that we have, we've been using the state contract as required. However, we went through out of the state contract to all the Ford and vehicles that we have. We're looking for a Ford Escape, which is a very versatile vehicle for this type of operations that we're looking for inspections and so on like that, and also can help in the event of the rapid impact assessment of any event in the town. So we're not in lower vehicles, so this vehicle is a little bit higher, and it can be maneuvered easily for areas that are not so shallow water, so you have some additional advantages into that. However, we have a condition in regards to the existing supply issues. So most of those vehicles, if you look at into the background and the backup of the vehicles, you're gonna have the number 1 is the one that we have selected because obviously it's the all lower vehicle, but that's the only vehicle that have, and they will be providing that vehicle between 90 and 120 days, and that's not a certainty. The number 2 that provided a price for the vehicle was a little bit higher, but it's an all-wheel drive. It's the same vehicle, just different trim and all-wheel drive, but it still is not a certainty that we're gonna get that vehicle or any other brand because it's still 90 to 120 days. We try to go to different brands, but they cannot even they don't have it. They didn't even responded to us when we request for the quotes because of the supply issues. The third one, which is Tropical Ford, they don't have the vehicles, and they said, I'll sell it to you for a standard price. Obviously, that standard price may be $35,000 to $40,000, but that's not the intent of the town to spend that much money in a vehicle like that. Therefore, I'm requesting to the commission that do the current environment, and I added the emails, attachment, and the backup. If the product is not available or they cannot submit it or provide it to us within 120 days, I will appreciate if the commission give the town manager or myself the ability to choose any other vehicle or any other vendor within the state contract as soon as they get available, but the purchase price not to exceed $24,000 for the vehicle. And that gives us some kind of leeway as of maneuvering of these supply issues. Any questions? I'm here to answer them.
Yeah, Mr. Nunez, I think we spoke earlier today, and I was in the building department. I would think that from what I saw and what I've heard is that you should actually try to request 2 vehicles.
If that's the commission direction, I'll be more than glad to do it. I did have a conversation with our town manager, and I'll let the town manager to explain the conditions of the issues.
Well, Clerk Commissioner, I spoke with Miguel earlier, and he informed me, he told me that you had brought the idea up of getting 2 vehicles. I would much rather purchase this one. This was not budgeted at this moment, but it's going to come out of surplus. So it's going to take some while to get it in. And at the same time, when we start our budget process, we can budget for another one next year and budget, out of their department. That would be my recommendation. Hold on, I couldn't hear you there.
Would that still work for you, Mr. Nunez?
I'm sorry, you're breaking up, sir.
He asked if it still works for you.
That work for you?
Yeah, it still works for us because the issue is the delay of the vehicles. We can, based on the timing, right now we're in the month of May, basically. So by the time we get to the month of the next fiscal year, we can maybe talk to the vendors and maybe pre-order the other vehicle, knowing that it's gonna come out of the next budget cycle based on what the conversation that I will have today. But I'm here to follow directions for the town manager or the commissioners as you wish.
Okay,
All right,
no
thank you.
question for me. I'm fine with that one vehicle. If that's okay with the manager and Mr. Nunez.
You said, sir, Vice Mayor, you said one vehicle?
Well, I said I'm fine with 1 vehicle if that's what you guys want, but I didn't think it would make a difference if it's coming from surplus. Does that affect us financially?
It comes from the building department funds, and I just wanted to make sure. I like to properly, make sure we get things budgeted into the budget. I have I spoke with Miguel, and I have absolutely no objection to the vehicles. And I think that this vehicle is much needed. But their request was for originally 1. I don't know if they had a request for 2. So I don't know what they would do with the second one. I mean, I'm sure they would be able to find a use maybe for inspectors or whatever, as Miguel told me. But I think, it's more prudent to properly budget for it and request it. And I like what Miguel said. I mean, we can talk to them now, establish it, maybe pre-order it, and then not pay for it until next fiscal year. So we can get the vehicle we desire and not necessarily having to scrounge around to see which one we get the quickest.
That makes sense.
Okay. All right, so Marlon, we'll put this one to consent.
All right, sir. Can I interrupt you for just 1 second? I do have David Segerson and Connie here. They were downstairs, so if you give me 1 second, if we can have them do their legislative update.
Okay.
Thank you, really.
Am I? Oh, here I am.
There you are.
Well, Vice Mayor, Commissioner Hodgkin,
Good evening.
it's Connie and David. I'm going to be real brief. You have the report, but I just wanted you to sort of outline how I set it up so that when you're digging through it, looking at the legislation, you know what you're looking at. In Section A, you go to the sort of the middle of the report where it says 2022 bills of interest affecting local government. The priority legislation that you all identified is in Section A. 3 of the bills from that section passed. Those are the ones that have 3 asterisks in front of them and are underlined. And those are the regulation of smoking in public places, which allows you more authority to control smoking in parks or on beaches, which you don't have, but in parks. So you now have the authority to do that. Also, the mixed-use residential development project, Senate Bill 962. This gives counties and cities more authority to approve mixed-use developments that have housing attached to them, as long as there's a 10% set aside for affordable housing. That may or may not be something that becomes useful to the town going down the road. The other bill that passed from our priority list, which is not a good one, is the 620, which is the local government bill that authorizes businesses to claim business damages when an action that you as a commission take causes them to lose money if they can prove it. I'm sure that that Melissa has been following this bill, and well, it becomes a matter of proof, and the cities were opposed to it. We opposed it because of the fact that it's just going to cause a lot of litigation, and some of it will be totally spurious, unfounded litigation, but it's still going to tie up the town's attorney office and maybe cause you to have to go get outside counsel. But the other thing in the priority list, that the bill that did not pass, was the local ordinances bill, which was in many ways probably a more devastatingly bad bill. This is the bill that would have created a cause of action for any citizen to sue the town if they felt that an ordinance or a rule or some action by the town violated state constitution or legislation preempting that to the state or anything like that, and also would require you to pay costs and attorney's fees to the prevailing party. Now, I'm not going to go into the other parts of the report, but just so you know, I separated out the bills from the list of bills that I produced early on. That you looked at, there were a list of bills that affected municipalities, and so in Section B, I listed all the bills from the bill list of bills that affected municipalities that passed. And there's quite a few of those, but not nearly as many as did not pass. Section C is where we talk about the appropriations and member projects. And as you probably all know by now, the town is in the budget for $195,000 for the pedestrian bike infrastructure improvement program. Section D is just simply other legislation that did not pass. And that's just something that if you're interested, you can go and look through the kinds of things that were proposed but did not end up passing. And from that list, if you look at the last action under which I list in each one of them, the ones that you might find the most interesting are the ones that either died in appropriations rules or in messages, because these are bills that almost passed, many of which were bad. And we probably will see them again. So the other thing that I wanted to mention real quick is that we have been having a conference meeting with your Public Works Department on Mondays to kind of update ourselves and coordinate our activities in terms of infrastructure type grants. To further discuss that briefly, I'm going to introduce Connie to talk about that. You want to sit here?
No, that's fine. They can see me. Yeah, we've been working, and JC has joined the call with us. We kind of going through your capital improvement projects, your existing grants, getting the status report of what's happening, and looking for future funding for some of the projects that are being identified in the capital improvement project to see what's eligible. Part of the grant process is before you apply for any grant, you have to have a preliminary engineering estimate and a basic scope of work in order to go after any grant money. So those are some of the things we're working with the staff on to identify some of those projects. For example, the septic to sewer project that we have been trying to get through the legislative process. Based on the current events of what's going on and cost estimates and project delays, we need to update that cost estimate because it's old now, based on all the inflation and everything that, so some of the things that we've been chasing will have to be updated with some current costs. So we're going to be doing that. Our next Zoom call is the first Monday of every month, so it'll be May 2nd. So we're going to be working through some of those. And we have filed for grants since our last report. We put in a technical assistance grant through DEO, and we're working with the police department for grants on their behalf. And there will be grants opening up based on what's been put in the budget, even though the budget hasn't been sent to the governor, it's still pending. The DEO, DEP, and the other state agencies have line items in the budget where grants will be funded through that, depending on the governor's actions. So there will be programs opening up in the near future to address some of the capital improvement projects that are on your list.
Tell them about Congressman Wilson's office.
That's right. We did a federal grant too. We submitted a federal grant in the Congresswoman Frederica Wilson's office for the police department, and we made that deadline. And hopefully, maybe towards the end of the year, there something should come out of the federal side for that.
To the end of the fiscal.
To the end of the fiscal year.
Yeah, meaning July for the federal.
For the federal side.
Yeah.
So,
And that's just so you know, that's for equipment that
police department equipment. Yeah. And I'm going to tag off your discussion about Senate Bill 620. That has not been sent to the governor yet. And I know some of the other entities have written to the governor's office asking him to veto that legislation. So I have heard that coming out of some other entities. So we'll see how that plays out.
Okay. And so, as always, we're available to answer any questions about the report, and that goes for, after this meeting, if you had time to look through it and you see something, whether it's passed or didn't pass, that you're curious about and you want more information, please don't hesitate to call me or email me. Also, or even if it's not in the report and you just heard about something that happened during the legislative session and you want more information, same thing goes. Just, we're happy to, if we don't know about it, we'll find out about it. Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
Any questions?
None for me. Any questions, Hodgkins?
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
guys.
We'll give Marlon her desk back.
Yes. Thank you, Marlon. Very gracious.
Thanks, Marlon.
All right, I guess back to Mr. Nunez, 8.3, purchase of easy software.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Miguel Nunez, building official. And on this 8.3, we are requesting let me just move my screen, the purchase or continuing services for the GovEasy software. Currently, the building department is using the InkForce, which is a software developed by Calvin Giordano and Associates, aka CGA. However, that software is on the last time on their life. So that means it's expected to be removed out of and no longer service after October 1st, 2022. Because of that reason, and after analyzing several softwares by building department code, BTR, dependencies, we have concluded that we believe that GovEasy, which is the upgrade from InkForce from the same company, CGA and Calvin Giordano and Associates, and one of the advantages is that we will save funds in regards to the transfer of files. That on the previous software that we have selected, it was going to be in the excess of over close to $100,000 or a staff to do it manually. So what we always said that GovEasy is a very simple project, but it does everything that we need. It has been, like I mentioned, especially building department and code, and with the transition now with BTR, we are optimistic that this software will solve for many years the needs for the building department, the code enforcement, and BTR units. So we have contracted them, and the cost associated for the entire transmission, including transfer of files and everything, is in the total upgrade is a total cost of $40,000 compared to other ones that were maybe on the 80s or 100,000. I don't have the number in my head. Out of that, the building department will be in covering half of that funds for building department and the digital plan review, because this has a component for digital plan review in the amount of $20,000. Only $10,000 for code enforcement and $10,000 for BTR. All our monthly costs and supervision and management of that will remain the same. We will have no increase whatsoever per emails with the principles of CGA. As always, if you have any questions, I'm here to answer them.
Any question, Mr. Hodgkins? Okay, is that a one-time fee, Mr. Nunez?
Yes, sir. That's only a one-time fee. That's only the upgrade cost, but we pay approximately a monthly fee associated with that. But that fee that we pay now is not going to be increased with the new software. It's going to be maintained.
Okay.
Vice Mayor, I will say that it's a really good price compared to some of the other software that we've been exploring. We even the commission actually approved, and we started working with another software way back when, and well, it wasn't exactly what they had promised, so we decided to cancel that. And this one, Miguel and Jocelyn, they went to visit a number of cities. They use it, and it seems to meet their needs. So I'm in favor of it.
Okay. So if no objection, Marlon, send that one to consent also, please.
Okay, give me 1 second, sir. The mayor's trying to did you get in? Okay, he's joining our meeting in a few minutes.
All right.
Okay, I've got it in for consent, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice Mayor and Clerk Commissioner.
You're welcome. Okay, 9, Code Enforcement, Chief Code Enforcement Officer Ramirez, 9.1, monthly report.
Good evening, Mayor, Vice Mayor, Clerk Commissioner. Mark is going to make me the presenter so I can share my PowerPoint.
Yeah, your presenter, Jocelyn.
All right, thank you.
Mark, I hear a buzzing sound. Is that somebody's,
Happy. Jocelyn, do you have the air conditioner on?
If I have the air conditioner,
Jocelyn,
yeah.
yeah, it's background noise where
I think it's my laptop, the fan. But can you hear me okay?
yeah,
Okay, great. Chief Code Enforcement Officer Jocelyn Ramirez. I'm presenting the report for March 2022 for the Code Enforcement Department. Okay. All right, here's a summary detailed report. For the month of March, we had 4 code enforcement liens, 25 notice of violations, 64 notice of formal hearings, 22 final orders, 2 affidavit of non-compliance, 24 affidavit of compliance, and 4 order of abatements. The next page is the dates that we had special magistrate hearing. We had one in March 16, 2022, and we had 23 formal hearings, 1 hearing to confirm a fine, 4 hearings to abate fine, a total of 28 cases. For the special magistrate hearing for April 2022, we had 26 formal hearings, 2 hearings to extend time, 2 hearings to confirm fine, 7 hearings to abate fine, and 1 order of continuance, a total of 38 cases. And our upcoming special magistrate hearing will be on May 18, 2022. Some updates at the department is the clearing of town right away on Southwest 31st Avenue. So as you may recall, on the last meeting, I discussed how there is an ongoing situation on Southwest 31st Avenue. The property owner at 1708 Southwest 31st Avenue keeps obstructing the town's right of way by storing multiple materials and continuously operates on town's road. With the help of Public Works Director Robert Clark and building official Miguel Nunez, we did an inspection on April 15th, and the property owner actually cleared the town's road, which I have pictures at the end of this presentation to show you. And I just want to update you as well that building official Miguel Nunez marked that property unsafe as of today. The next item is the RV tie-down inspections. Currently, the department is conducting tie-down inspections for permanent status of RVs in preparation of hurricane season. Another update is that Lisa Cannon, she's a new employee for the Code and BTR department. So she is currently in training, and we welcome her. As Miguel Nunez mentioned about the Doug Easy software, him and myself, we went to the city of Deerfield Beach on March 24th, and we took a look at the software code enforcement module. And so far, so good. It's very familiar to what we use now, and it seems promising. So I'm looking forward to using the software in the near future. Another update is that we have we're organizing our files for closing on properties who have outstanding liens and outstanding violations. So we are working on preparing a notice to foreclose to send out to these properties. The last update is about Lake Trinity Mobile Home Park. We've been receiving multiple complaints from the residents that there are multiple structures being removed, and when they're removed, the debris is left on the ground. It's overfilling the dumpsters. So what the code enforcement department did after Miguel, Lucy, and I did multiple inspections, and we did see that those violations did exist. The code department cited the property owner and is holding the property owner responsible for the removal of those structures without permit and for the debris that has been left. At this time, I haven't seen the debris. The debris has been cleaned up, and the property managers have been in contact with me, and they are promising us that they're going to obtain the permit by the end of the month. Those are the updates that I have for this month. Following few slides is going to be some notices, some violations that we have cited. This is on 2633 South Park Road. This was cited for replacing AC units without a permit. The next slide is property in Dale Village. The property owner at 5060 Southwest 28th Street was removing the subfloors without a permit, so they've been cited. Next slide is on 3680 West Helena Beach Boulevard. This property has is in blight condition and has multiple vehicles parked on swales. They're selling vehicles without having a dealership license. The property needs maintenance, and there's outdoor storage that is prohibited. As you can see, the tires all around, and they're dumping their trash on the swale. So they have been cited for all these items on the photos. This property, 4945 Southwest 41st Street, has been cited for work without permit. There used to be an existing permit in the past for this house that they were building, but the previous property owner abandoned it, and so the permit is null and void. So they either have to obtain a permit to continue the building of the home or demolish it. And as well, you can see that the property does need maintenance, and they have graffiti on these sister properties. Okay. This is a violation of graffiti on a waste container by Waste Management on 2865 Southwest 30th Avenue. I did contact the manager for Waste Management. They actually got it removed, but when I went to go and inspect the waste container, the one that was the waste container that they replaced it with was tagged again with the graffiti. So, but this is an ongoing situation that we always have to keep on top. Multiple waste containers from Waste Management have been tagged with graffiti. So we're keeping on top of it. The next few slides are before and after. So this is a property that we cited on 3133 Southwest 25th Street. They were demolishing a ramp and doing paving work without a permit. This is the after photo. The ramp was removed and the paving potholes were covered with a permit. The next property is on 4803 Southwest 41st Street. As you can see, it's in blight condition. The roof is dirty, the wall is dirty. So these are the after photos. They pressure washed and cleaned the roofs. The wall has been pressure washed, and you can see the difference more bright. The next property is in Condado Real, 5100 Southwest 41st Street, Unit 220. This was a health and safety violation. As you can see, the kitchen wall cabinets were falling. The sinks and the plumbing were in deplorable conditions. This is the after the property owner renovated the plumbing, and looks much nicer. Next violation was on Southwest 30th, the railroad corridors. Multiple trucks parking there and leaving multiple cars there. And it's prohibited parking, so they were tagged. And then this is the photo with all the trucks and vehicles removed. The next slide is 2570 South Park Road. This is prohibited outdoor storage. This is the after photo where they removed everything. And then this is A and B recycling, the one that I discussed earlier, 1708. This is what it looked like before. Everything is on town's right away. And this is them clearing it. The property is still looks, in blight condition. There's a lot of dirt where they removed the items. But I have been in communication with our Public Works Director, Robert Clark, and we did impose an abatement notices on the April 20th special magistrate hearing that the town will clean this up to not exceed $10,000, and they are on a daily fine of $500 per day if they don't get all these items corrected. And that's it. That's all I have. Any questions for me?
No questions for me, Mr. Hodgkins?
No, I'm good, thank you.
Oh, the RVs, the tie down, is that just for hurricane season or is that year round?
Year round, but the tie downs are in the event of a emergency that we have a hurricane warning, and they have to make sure that they have the tie down.
All right, that's it for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
And Finance Department. $10.1 credit card replacement, Mayor Jacobs.
Mayor, can you hear us? You're
Yeah,
on mute.
I can hear
Oh, there you go. There you go.
Yeah, we're at 10.1, the credit card replacement.
Anyone who has credit cards, chances are you're getting a new one. That's it.
All right.
I'll add a little to that. We'll working with Christian so we can get those distributed to you guys. Should get an email by the end of the week, so you guys can come in, turn in your old ones, and get the new one. Okay, that's with the new bank.
Okay. 10.2 business tax receipt, billing update, Administrator Grooms.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, great. I don't know if my camera is working okay. Michelle Grooms, Billing Administrator. The first item, which refers to the monthly review of all collectibles. You can see on your first page, the reimbursable expenses. We really haven't done any billing since we've changed to the new format. You can see some additional projects came in. Also with the annuals, we have to date about 93% collected. There's only a small amount pending. New accounts, And then at the bottom of the page, the additional miscellaneous billings. On the second page, we have also other collectibles that are billed as well. Did you have any questions?
Any question from the commission? Okay. 10.3, refund request.
Okay, this situation was actually a duplicate charge. What happened is in the transition of the planner, they had requested a verification for zoning. And then someone else in the office requested the same thing. So I billed them the second time and they just provided the receipts. You'll see both receipts. And they're just asking for the refund of $154.50.
Okay, do we have any software to track duplicate charges or anything like that?
Well, what happens is we don't have a component for planning. So the process is I receive a request from a customer, I bill it in, and then I give it to the planner. There's no way to really know, especially with the change in the planner from one to the other, if that was a second request or if that was the initial one. The planner would let me know usually. But because we had one planner leaving and we started the consultant, that was the mix-up.
Okay. Any questions from the commission? No? All right, Michelle, on what date, I don't have the report open here. What date was the letter sent out to request the refund?
The letter was sent out in April. Well, we received the letter from them in April. The backup said they requested it on April 13th. The original billing was done in February and paid on the 16th. And then the following was paid on April 13th.
Okay, so that's about 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Right, you said April 13th?
Oh, yes, when they requested it.
Right, that's what I'm asking.
Yes.
Yes, so now they have to wait an additional 2 weeks for a commission meeting to approve the refund. I don't know how the commission feel about that, but I think that's a lengthy process to go to just to give somebody that refund.
If you authorize it, sir, commission, we can get that process. I mean, it's just a refund. It's the refund of a duplicate. It's not like they're asking for the waiver of fees or anything like that. It's a different issue.
Errors like these waste the commission's time and the town's time. We should just be fixing problems like this. So we need to put processes in place so this doesn't happen again.
I was going to request that from you guys today to make sure you guys were okay with it. But whenever something like this happens, I'll get those refunds done right away, sir.
Okay, direction on correcting that problem.
I won't bog up any of your time.
All right, thank you. 10.4, waiver request.
This is a waiver request that was submitted, commission, to our office. You see the backup referring to the business owner. They originally applied in February 2024, February 24th, 2021. And they are asking, they paid all the fees except for the March 1st penalty of the $250.
Okay, any questions?
I think previously we agreed that we were going to, that we can't let people just slide all the time, that, if they're in business, they need to pay the dues. That should be the last word on it. We'll just have it work that way unless there's some mitigating circumstance.
Yeah, this just needs to be a line item discussed at the meeting.
I forgot, 10.3 was I guess, consent, Marlon, and 10.4 line item.
Will do.
Actually, 10.3, is that the duplicate one? I can take care of that administratively if you guys want, and it won't even come to you guys at the next meeting.
Okay, yeah, let's do that.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, thank you, Ms. Grooms.
Thank you, Commission.
11, Police Department, none. 12, Planning Consultant, none. 13, Human Resources. 14, actually, none. 15, Public Service Department. Public Service Director Clark. 15.1, FPL generator for town.
Wait, stop for a second. I want to go back to HR.
Okay.
JC, can you please assure that we are pushing forward on getting a finance director in here and filling our vacancies?
Absolutely. We have it posted on LinkedIn, Indeed, and also on the GFOA, the Government Finance Officers.
I'm much aware people are applying because they're sending me messages on it. So it's already been advertised. So we'll be getting them. Just make it happen in a timely manner. Thanks.
And I'm scheduling first round for town planner interviews. I'm going to be interviewing them next week, and then HR will set them up with you guys as well.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, 15.1, FPL generator for Town Hall and Stormwater Pump Station 1. Director Clark.
Good evening, Commission. Please forgive my background. Got a lot of stuff on the, I don't get the luxury of the other one to have the blurred background. So as usual, I have a lot to report, and but I will condense it. To give you a brief report of the town, we have 56 pumps and only 4 are down. They're down for various reasons. I can answer those questions if you need to, but they have mostly to do with supply chain issues and issues associated with spending more than a single source requirement for procurement in some of these issues. So we have to go through, literally have to jump through hoops in order to get the most economical price for some of these repairs. They've been drawn out. I understand that, but I'm doing everything I can to square that away. If you'd like specifics, I can go into specifics, but for the most part, we're chucking along. I think we've gotten this thing at the minimum 60% licked. Now it's just process and procedures. Stormwater stations, we only have 1 pump out of the 8 stormwater station pumps that we were going through. So based on that, and it's because of a fan, and I think I read an email that said the fan has been repaired, so we just have to arrange for installation on that. Out of our 9 generators, we only have half of them working, and there's a variety of reasons why they are working and not working, and it's mostly to procurement. I'm dissatisfied with some of the vendors that we've had in the past. And because I'm dissatisfied with the vendors in the past, I'm moving forward to getting the town new vendors, continuing services agreements, and then vetting these individuals to make sure that when they come out, it's not like it was status quo. They don't just get to go into the building. I've issued certain directives that vendors, when they come into the town, they have to check in with me and me specifically, and they don't get to touch a single piece of equipment unless me or one of my representatives stand there watching them the entire time. So none of this go in, jackleg guy who knows nothing about nothing and giving us a big price on the cost of the equipment. I'm watching them like a hawk. I'm taking notes, and then I'm going out for 2 and 3 quotes to make sure it's the most economical process. Unfortunately, just to report on the Parks and Rec Department, a golf cart was stolen from the Parks and Rec Department last Saturday at around 7:23 p.m. It was reported to BSO. And I myself on Monday reported it to Lieutenant Charles. I think it was Monday or Tuesday, but I reported it to Lieutenant Charles. He immediately dispatched a detective, and I've been in close contact with the detective. We have them on camera, and so therefore it's no mistake. We can make out their faces. The challenge is they're juveniles, so I have to defer to Lieutenant Charles on that matter and his deputy associated with it. But this is an issue that's found to be ongoing. Most of our equipment, mechanical, electrical equipment, has been jerry-rigged, meaning that somebody stuck a screwdriver in it at some point and broke the lock. You've been noticing I've been changing locks around here, putting things on a master key and then a grandmaster down to a master and so on, and then working with access control. I've been working closely with Mark, making sure that our cameras are up to speed. Kudos to Mark, and everything that we need to provide the proper safety for the town. I've been closing off side doors so people have limited access. People who need to do business with the town, they have to come to the front of the building, no more access through the back of the building. That's employees only. And when they come in, they are buzzed in. After that, it has been determined that it is relatively safe. And I've been working with Broward Sheriff's Department, the manager, and a variety of our own chief of police to ensure the safety of the employees of the town. So I've been working hard towards that. Back to the park incident. Apparently these kids have been through the park on more than one occasion, being rambunctious. And I think that Adrian, the park supervisor, would be able to identify any of the individuals that were associated with it. At the time, it was during the shift, the evening shift, where Tom Hill, he did in fact see those. I witnessed those guys take the vehicle and drive away with it. We're moving towards a policy shift with these vehicles, where that we make sure that we lock them down. Apparently, the SOP for 17 years has been that when it's time to secure the park, the individuals come in and park the golf cart in front of the front door of the Parks and Rec building, and then they proceed out to the other gates, and it looks like that's when the bandits struck. So far as other public works issues, we did have we have a variety of service calls that have taken place for the month. I don't have the accurate number at this point, as well as the numbers with the work orders. We were having some challenges with our work order process. Past all of that, pretty much everything is in solid working order, with the exception of one of my vehicles is over at Ford awaiting a repair. Apparently during the movement of one of our jetting systems, the person jackknifed the trailer and it tore a hole into the side of the truck. So the truck has been down for more than 6 weeks now, but we're trying to get it back. Unfortunately, supply chain issues are associated with not having our truck back during that time. For the most part, I think that's it for our report. And any questions?
I got a couple questions.
Yes.
Was the golf cart recovered, or is it still missing?
It's still missing, sir, as far as I know, and the investigation is pending.
Okay, and have we filed an insurance claim for that?
We have not. I think that when I say I think, I would defer to your leadership on this, but Miriam has informed me we got that golf cart at a significant discount, and then probably it would harm us if we try to make an insurance claim rather than just go by.
On the progress of all of our vehicles, getting them up to standard, are we making some progress there?
To be perfectly honest with you, sir, we've made vast strides in the right direction, but vehicles such as the dump truck, there's no salvaging of the dump truck.
Right.
Unfortunately, your requisition or your request that I replace the dump truck. Replacing the dump truck at the budgeted amount, it doesn't look like that's going to happen for me. So I have to go through another process, and that process is to get the actual body and chassis and then have a dumper built onto it, or a suggestion that I may make to the commission at some later date that we buy dump trailers. And
I was just going to ask you that. What about going with the dump trailer, seeing how we don't have an excessive amount that would keep one vehicle off our insurance as well?
Absolutely, and I agree with you 110. What I can do is I can research that information and come back with you with some proposals and move forward with getting a couple dump trailers. The only downside of dump trailers is limited capacity to store them. So we would have to store them over into the park gate, and then we would have to affix and secure them to the deck out there. They have a couple different security, like a boot. I don't know if you're familiar with a boot. I don't see too many boots in South Florida, but they make a boot that you connect to the wheel so you won't it'll render it virtually immobile. Or we can get a pedestal type that mounts to the tow ball and lock that down to where we wouldn't have it be able to be moved. But unfortunately, we're just subjects to vandalism and theft.
And can you go through the proper procedures and get rid of that truck out of the back of our town hall there, that old dump truck? We just need to go through whatever we need to do to get that thing gone. So
I was thinking a barn fire would be appropriate, sir.
You're not far off with that one. We could have a community barbecue with that thing. So
I will move expeditiously with that.
What about hardening of the security gates for town hall? We were looking at doing fencing and security on the building with where you swipe your ID to get through the gate for the back of town hall. Have we gone anywhere with that, or is that still?
So the hardening of the town hall and the security gate, I've had a conversation in the budgeting aspects of building out the police department, and I had some vision as to how to do it, but we're limited with space. And that's one of the challenges that we're running with, is that if the actual gate, where would we put it? And then how would we manage the access? So those are the challenges that I want to involve engineers with, to have them take a look at, maybe some architects or something like that, and just to put a vision board together to see how we could address that. Because if you take a solid look, we're zero lot line here with everything. And I was going to go into a point, but I'll give you a brief preview. It's that the code enforcement department, in support with the vice mayor, has said that we need to, fix our landscaping in the area. So if we repair our landscaping, it should be, we fix the fencing in accordance with code, there's little to no place for me to harden anything, because where the blacktop stops and our setbacks to the fencing leaves almost nothing. And what I could do is go concrete there. We could pursue something of that nature, but for the most part, I think we're very limited. But I can pursue it if that's the direction.
Okay. I think David Howard had, or the police chief had something at one point together. If you could get with him and figure out something, we could make it better.
I'll make it my business, sir.
All right.
Robert, I was wondering about the dump truck issue. Have we do you think the town could actually just lease them? I used to lease my dump trucks.
So absolutely, I've been pursuing along with the support of the IT director, a fleet management process to where that we can work with, if I'm not mistaken, this enterprise. And essentially what we do is we get our vehicles from them, and then they cover the maintenance and support, and we switch them out, as we need them, as they age, so on and so forth. But that's something that to formulate, get a presentation together and present to the commission. I have to be perfectly honest with you, it's been so low on my sense of priorities, but I can move it up if that's what it calls for.
Well, I found it very economical to do it, and like I say, they maintain them. So you just drive them in there on a certain date, they maintain it, and you drive it out. You know, so it's a pretty good deal actually. You know, if you got people who know how to drive them.
Absolutely, and here's one point we have to take a look at is that from a capital asset, remember there are checks and balances associated with the town and how they manage capital assets. So if it goes on a different part of our journal and how it's expensed and so on. So we have to weigh the pros and cons associated with buying versus leasing. Right. That's out of my scope. That'd be JC and whoever the new CFO is.
Yeah, just something to think about.
Yes, sir. Any other questions?
No, I'm good.
All right, I'm not sure if that was 15.1.
But that was a report. That was just a report, and I can go into 15.1.
You generalized it, but I'd rather go down the line. That way we, if anything you missed.
Okay, that was just my report. 15.1, I can get involved in 15.1 for you.
Yes.
Give me 1 second to pull it up.
Rob, do you need to be a presenter? Are you doing any slides or anything?
Yeah, I got some slides. I need to be presented.
There you go.
Thank you. Okay, I don't know. Do you see where it says agenda item report? And the next slide would be, what do you see on your screen? Agenda item report.
Yeah, and then it shows next slide.
Okay, energy as a service. Everybody see that?
Yes. Right.
Okay, excellent. I'm gonna move through pretty quickly. It should have been sent out to the commission for your review. Basically, this is a lot of pretty colors to demonstrate that it's going to be a significant savings and how the actual backup power for us, we do need a professional level upgrade in our backup power, and that will go a long way with our EOC. We're talking about here what the actual transition over a 10-year period versus a 20-year period and the agreement in terms. I did sit with the former CFO and the city manager and the IT department. If I'm not mistaken, I think the building department was also there. And then we came to a determination that we could provide, or they could provide the service to us either through municipal gas or through diesel. And we have a partnership with 360 and FP&L. And for the most part, getting back to the numbers, this is where we are and what it will cost us. And essentially, I'm recommending that that we move in this direction for 2 locations, and those 2 locations would be the main stormwater station and here at Town Hall. Essentially, what it boils down to is that we would pay FP&L monthly for a generator that we would, at a later point, within 20 years or so, we would own said generator. And we have found out that we can pay down the cost, and as a cost breakdown and paying down the overall capital costs associated with the piece of equipment. And essentially, it's just an installment type scenario. And during that installment, it includes maintenance if I just want to break it down to the lowest common denominator. It's a sophisticated piece of equipment that is managed by them and us. It is our piece of equipment, and they're extending this out from a monthly process and spreading it out over 10 years or 20 years or whichever. And then it's completely customizable. So we can say like we're open transition type or closed transition type. And what that means to you is that how fast it will provide continuous power, meaning that the power will go through the circuit, and then if we was to lose power on one end, it's completely uninterruptible, and that's a closed transition. From an open transition, it would, as fast as you snap your finger, that's how quickly you would get power back. The only issue that we would have would be the IT department, but I think almost all of his equipment is on uninterruptible power sources. And so therefore we wouldn't receive a big difference. This is going to be the latest and greatest, newest piece of equipment they have on the market. And more importantly, this is the big sticker. It is their fault if anything happens. So we assume no responsibility with the maintenance, the upkeep, anything. This thing needs to be in perfect working order in accordance with the contracts, and that it'll be their problem. So let's say, and then we get head of the line privileges also with, and if we get the natural gas version of it or municipal gas version of it, then we don't even have to worry about chasing down diesel fuel. So this is, by my estimation, and in my last position, I had to maintain 58 generators, right? This thing is the best thing since sliced bread. So I highly recommend that we move in this direction, not for one, but for two. And that will reduce our vulnerability during storm season to almost zero, because it'll be their problem. And if anything fails, we can stand strong and firm and be arm in arm.
What's the normal lifespan of these vehicles? I mean, of these.
So, I'm glad you asked that question. So basically, diesel engines operate off of an hour cycle. So it's just like, Mr. Mayor, like airplanes. You have a certain amount of, or like transfer trucks. So these diesel engines, or these type of engines, these Cat, Cummins, whatever the variety of it is, they cycle on hours. So essentially, I can't give you a strong number as to how long they would last, but in our climate, we have a little harsher climate on our equipment, and I can show you other pictures of some of our other equipment. But the point being is that we would have to worry about the casing, or the container, or the outside structure long before we would have to worry about whether it would work or not. And so my estimation, and I can't be firm because I can't see into the future, that you can get easily 20 years out of a piece of equipment like this, because it's rock solid.
They probably have that. They probably have that information. That's why they say 10 years, 20 years. You know.
Yeah, I'm sure that they wouldn't put themselves out there for 20 years unless they.
Right. Yeah.
And I brought up the point, I think, in the meeting about supply chain issues, and then they said if it came to a point to where they weren't able to meet their responsibility because of supply chain issues, they put another one in.
Wow. I want that in writing.
It was a big deal. I thought it was a super win. You know, I would just like for the commission to move forward with making a decision as to which payment that we would have to come up with. And as you can see, it's pretty steep down payment. However, it would be in our best interest to have this technology available to us during storm season, in particular as to some of the changes that we've seen over the years.
So, Rob, I got a question for you. What's the difference between between the town generators with FPL and the new and now with the multiple generators?
Say that again, sir. I don't quite understand that. Could you please clarify?
What's the difference between the town generators with FP&L and the multiple generators that we have now? I mean, what are these, just the newest things, or?
Okay. I think I better understand your question now. So you're telling me is that, if I don't misunderstand you, is that what's the difference between going with brand new generators and sticking with what we have?
Exactly.
Okay, excellent. So we don't have an automatic transfer switch for the building. That means we don't have immediate power. That means someone has to drive up here, go into the little room, and then hit the switch, turn on the generator, and hit the switch.
Right.
The second thing with this, the difference is they're going to come in and they're going to redo our switch gear. I don't know if you've ever been into the mechanical room on the first floor, but it is dated and it's time for it to go. Will it work? Yes, it worked because, wires don't go bad. However, we're dealing with the end of its useful life. With that being said, they're going to come in, re-engineer everything, pull all of that stuff out, put all new stuff in with the latest technology, and then they're going to put their device in place. Could we manage with what we have? Absolutely, sir. However, the maintenance that prior to where we're at now was not up to speed. I've been jumping up and down about these generators being, run on a schedule, that we get professional level maintenance come in here with P3s to come in to maintain this equipment. But the reality of it is that they're all well past their prime. And this will be the right step in the right direction. But to answer your question, can we make it happen with what we have? I will make it happen with what we have.
Okay. Listen, this town needs updated every which direction. You know that from the day before the day you came in here. So like our elevators to our AC system, it's one thing after another. So just trying to keep the fiscal responsibility in this town going,
And Miriam just brought up a great point, is that our current generator will not run the elevators nor the AC. And power the building.
That's what stairs
will not.
I know people don't like to use them, but I use the stairs all the time in the building.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, that's all I have.
All right, so what do you need from us?
My recommendation is that we move this to consent, and if possible, I'd like to have these generators.
Rob, before we go ahead and recommend putting it on consent, some of these are these numbers here. Is this for both generators that you were talking about, or just one?
No, this is one. This is one generator.
Okay, so I think they would need to see the price for both. And then the other thing is, I was in the meeting, and I think this is the best approach as far as securing generators. But before we commit to this, I think we need to have our CFO on board, our new CFO on board, just to make sure. These are some pretty hefty numbers, especially if we pay down the amount. You're looking at, if you pay down 50%, that's $319,000. I want to make sure that we have the CFO on board before we do that. I
was just going to make the same suggestion. I think we need to postpone this till we have a finance director back.
Absolutely. And one thing I do want to add, the one for the stormwater, right, that would come out of the stormwater side. It wouldn't come from the general fund. So if that's
exactly. But at that point, we have to take a look at the stormwater fund and see if we have to adjust that fee.
Absolutely.
And see if it impacts that. So I'm in favor of this. I mean, considering either us doing it ourselves or having FPL do it and paying it off over time, I think this is probably the best route. But I would feel much more comfortable if we have a CFO on board. Once we have a CFO on board, and they can review it and review the town's finances and make sure we're good.
Yeah, at one point, and I support you 110%, but next month we're in storm season.
I get it. I get it. But again, if a storm hits, I need to have the money to recover from that too. So
I that's why I was asking if we could maintain what we have for a little longer, and hopefully get through the beginning of this till we get someone in place, and then we could make a final decision on it at that point.
Absolutely, I'm 100% support of that. Yes, sir. So that's that one. Say again.
I said, so we'll table this until we have our new CFO.
Yes, sir.
Everyone in agreement with that?
Yes.
15.2 Town Hall Beautification Project.
Pull up that presentation. Essentially, what we did is that, can everybody see that? It's no big deal with the slide. It has been clear that the building needs some TLC, and we have made arrangements to make that TLC happen. Essentially, you saw a estimate that was given. It should have been on the agenda for beautification, and essentially Bel Air maintenance. They wanted a $3,000 to do the pressure washer, and then there are certain associated fees with. We need 42 plants to repair the landscaping, and then miscellaneous sod repair, fence repair, and then once we get the roof done and the windows done, then we can turn around and paint the building as you see fit. I have not quoted out painting of the building because we're not quite there yet. I'd like to get the town hardening projects taken care of with windows and doors. And then once we get that, then we'll go out for bid for the painting of the building like we are doing for the roof and windows. So what I'm requesting is that that we set aside a minimum of $20,000 for the purposes of bringing up, and that's a maximum, I'm sorry, the maximum of $20,000 to pressure wash. And as you see the bullet points here that were brought out to our attention, the replacement of the dead hedges, the landscape, the uniformity of the landscaping, pressure washing, fixing the letters on the building, fence repairs if necessary. And hopefully we won't use all of that, but we can get to maybe painting and striping the parking lot.
All right, any questions?
I do. Where are we at with the AC units or the AC overhaul?
So that's coming up in the agenda, sir. Would you like me to?
Oh, yeah, we'll just wait for that. We'll wait.
All right. Everybody okay with consent 15.2?
Yes.
All right, Marlon, we'll put that to consent. 15.3, engineering study, sewer master plan.
Okay, essentially what we're doing is that as we apply for grants, and it was brought to your attention earlier, some of the grants that we need to apply for to improve the town stormwater and infrastructure, they're requesting that we have a master plan, stormwater master plan and a sewer master plan. Miriam and I have reached out for GMP, guarantee maximum price for a sewer master plan and a sanitary water master plan that has not been updated since 2001 timeframe, and we're supposed to have an update every 5 years. And we're well overdue for a master plan for the sewer. So what I would like to do is request the GMP not to exceed $200,000 for a sewer master plan study. And we need that because the first thing people ask for when we're coming to do grant is we need shovel-ready projects associated with or in line with the sewer master plan, as well as stormwater also.
Any questions? I think that's another big expense that we probably have to wait for our CFO.
Wait a second. This is okay. For the plan is how much?
$200,000 GMP, sir.
And we got. Did we get that $75,000 grant to go along with it?
We would need the plan in order to get grant money. We can't get any grant money.
No, I understand. Okay, so I think we have $3 million sitting in our stormwater fund right now, right?
Somewhere in the neighborhood of, yes, sir.
So we can't do anything without this plan in place. So this is one of those expenses where the money does come from the stormwater, will come from the stormwater fund to fund this, right?
Well, we did budget for an update, but it's severely deficient. It's an actual budget for us to do a master plan.
Well, I know we can't. Here's the thing. unless we have shovel-ready projects, we can't get any grant money. We can't get any funds to help this place. Without having this study done, we can't even go do anything. So this study is a must. It has to be done. So for the town to progress any farther forward with our stormwater problems, this is one of those requirements. We have the funds in the stormwater fund to take care of this, to cover this cost, and then we could proceed forward with, you know, grants once we have the fund in place. That's what I'm getting out of this, correct?
Yes, with all due respect, sir, it's both separate. One is stormwater and one is sewer.
Okay,
Right.
I was just speaking stormwater, just stormwater.
So right now, we're trying to get something to move towards our sewer master plan.
Okay, how much is the sewer master plan?
They're pretty much, the engineers are quoting around the same amount of money. Around
Same amount on that?
Yes.
JC, where are we at on funds when it comes to sewer systems?
Like you said, we do have money in reserves. You know, I would feel more comfortable to have somebody in place to monitor and make sure we're not overspending and to control it. But what I can do is, if you guys want, is go ahead and move this forward, make it a line item for the next meeting. And when that meeting comes up, I'll have the updates available as far as how much money and how, you know, and as far as making sure that we can afford it at this time.
Okay, I would say go ahead and do that, make this a line item, and make sure we have the funds available on this. If it has to wait, we will, at the next meeting, we'll table it until we have the new public services director here. But I'm sorry, not public service, finance director. I'm sorry, I'm looking right at Rob.
Don't be saying that to Rob. Don't say that to Rob.
I'm looking right at you, and I'm saying finance director. Sorry about that. Anyways, so I think we'll do that. Make this a line item. We'll discuss it next meeting, and we'll make a determination at that time.
You okay with that, Commissioner Hutchkin?
Yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. All right, Marlon, 15.3, line item, please. 15.4, recycling truck.
I'm playing a quick video for you, and then we'll move on into the presentation. Hopefully this isn't too loud.
Okay, baby. I'm in a meeting still. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so essentially the reason why I showed that video is to see the process associated with changing or not changing with collecting recycling. And as it stands today, what we have is I don't know if we can see it now, but anyway, essentially here in the presentation here, I was able to find a sidearm articulating, and most of us who lived in PUDs, you've seen these trucks, trash trucks, I call them, recycling trucks, whatever the case may be. But they, what they do is that there's two seats in the front of the truck, and then a person can ride on the right as opposed to the left. We have a hopper and a variety of upgrades associated with it. This is how pretty the truck is and everything, but I wanted to show you the video. Let's see if it'll play for me. Essentially, here's the video. Everything works. Essentially, this is what the truck looks like, and the reason why I
Can you mute your microphones if you're not speaking?
Say again, is that me?
No, Commissioner Hodgins, you got to mute. It's picking up your air.
All right, so essentially, this is a truck that'll better suit the needs of the town. And the reason why is because it takes two people. And I, for myself, went out on the truck that we have in stock and spent a whole day with our recycling technician, James. And I found out that during the season, there's so much recycling and the way that they did business. And he assured me that this is light years better than what they used to have to do back in the day, where they had to actually go out, deliver cans, then pick the cans up, put them on the back of the pickup truck, 4 to 6 at a time. And that's how they was able to reclaim recycling. What I found out is that it would take all day for us to do somewhere in the neighborhood of half of the town and collect the recycling. Then we were taking the recycling up to Deerfield, to the recycling port, to have them evaluate it and turn around and tell us that it was contaminated. So I just spent 8 hours dealing with this truck, collecting the recycling, and then to go up there to only find that the actual recycling was contaminated. And it's something as simple as having a pizza box. What they wanted the town to do is to sift through all of the trash, the plastic bottles, the glass, as well as the cardboard, and separate it and have it not contaminated in order for us to realize any monetary gain from this. Well, almost always we didn't receive any monetary gain. Now I went to our previous CFO to ask him, have we received any checks for collecting recycling? And the answer to that question was no. Now I understand that there is a mandate associated with collecting recycling, which I think that was the motivation behind for us having our own recycling truck. And that is a net benefit. But what I did was change it or make a policy shift to where they no longer drove all the way to Deerfield to dump contaminated recycling. We went over to Davie, and they have a location over there to where they incinerate the recycling, and we still meet the requirement that has been disseminated to me for collecting recycling. And the value of having a truck of this type means that now one man can operate this truck, right? He could drive up, grab the thing from in front of your house, dump it, and drive away. And so therefore we're working on a higher level of efficiency. Now I did have the numbers together, but to your point, I didn't have a CFO to go through the numbers, but we are operating at twice a week, 8 hours a day for a technician averaging around $25 an hour. So based on that, plus the maintenance and upkeep and fuel, because this is a diesel vehicle that we have associated with it, and then to drive all the way to Deerfield to dump it, to only find it to be contaminated, there was no net gain associated with it. Now, here's where the downside is for us, and I'll get to it real quick. The downside of it is that this particular truck is $179,000, right? What I know it's expensive, but it will pay back. It will pay itself back in very short order associated, because at the end of the day, we would have a better piece of equipment, is less people working on the equipment, and then we would have the potential of, at the very least, getting in and getting out more efficiently. And if we are able to have a stronger recycle program, then we can talk about the proper sifting of bottles versus cardboard versus plastic. But if we don't educate the townspeople as to how this is supposed to go, we're at a net negative associated with our recycling program.
Robert,
So,
did we look into seeing whether the company is picking up our trash presently? Can pick up the recycle stuff?
Absolutely, but that would have to come from your desk, sir, based on those numbers. So I would have to get direction to investigate that, and that would have to come from
So,
your desk, as well as the manager.
Rob, I got a couple questions. One, can we look into what outsourcing this position would be, or outsourcing our recycling, seeing what that would cost the town?
Outsourcing recycling, yes, sir.
I believe there's two companies. It's Waste Management and what's the other one? JC, it's something service. It's not something pro.
There's a bunch. There's a bunch.
Okay.
Waste Pro, Waste Connections.
Waste Pro, yeah, that's it. Okay. Yeah, for around here, I think it's those two is what we have around here, but get a couple quotes on that. If seeing how we're kind of holding off on the dump truck that we've already authorized 60,000 for, we could repurpose that for now to, you know, put it towards this, you know, just depending. Now I got a really honest question for you. Where do we pick up the recycling at around town? Because it's not the mobile home parks.
Yes, there's a variety of locations to where we go to pick up recycling. And essentially it's in the mobile home parks. So where we go into the vice mayor's condo, townhouse community, and we pick up a few there. We go over to, forgive me, we go over to Park Lake Estates. We pick up over there. Across the street, Dale Village, we pick up over there. Long Pine, we pick up over there, and 2 or 3 other locations. I'm not sure if we pick up, oh yes, we pick up over at Bamboo. And it's just gross inefficiency, sir. So almost all of our mobile home parks, we're picking up recycling.
Okay, yeah, Holiday Park is not one of them.
There is the park right beside there is, I think it's called, Miriam, chime in here. The park right beside it, we had to go over there and pick up.
Green Acres.
Park Lake Estates. Say again?
There's Green Acres, Park Lake Estates.
No, between, it was north of Park Lake Estates. It's a little small area there on the side.
Embassy.
Yeah, we pick up over there, and 2 or 3 other locations.
So what it sounds like to me is our recycling program needs a complete overhaul, just like everything else around here. Streamline it a little better and get it in place. You know, I guess my direction would be, hey, let's look into streamlining this process, making sure that if we have a citywide recycling plan, it's citywide, and look into outsourcing and internal cost. So I know that's a huge task and project, but if that's something you could get and present to us, I would really appreciate that.
Yes, sir. I'll make it happen.
All right.
Okay. The other one here. The AC, where we have the town hall AC.
Hold on a second, Rob. So that was 15.4. 15.5, town hall AC repair.
Okay, so I solicited a couple different companies. I was able to get someone out to repair the 2nd floor. No repairs were done on the 3rd floor. We were able to accommodate the chief and his assistant down on the 2nd floor. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. And so in order to get 2nd and 3rd floor both working, we need $12,642 for a complete repair. And for 2nd and 3rd floor actual replacement would be $110,178, and that's to replace the equipment identified here. And I can forward this information to you guys. And for the last one, we got a quote. I see the last one here. Let me see a second.
And you know I have questions coming for you on this.
Okay, absolutely, sir. Go ahead with your questions.
All right, so here we are, 10 grand for another Band-Aid. And I feel that even the 3 years that myself and the vice mayor have been here, it has been Band-Aid after Band-Aid after Band-Aid for this AC system. You know, we can't keep spending 10,000 here, 15,000 there, you know, on trying to fix this thing for it to break down a year or two down the road, or even in our case, every couple months or every month. So that 110,000, that is replacing the AC unit on the 2nd and 3rd floor with new?
Yes, sir.
And what about the CARES funding? Can we use the CARES funding for that?
Yes, sir. I
Okay.
believe we can.
So seeing how we have money sitting there in the CARES fund, and if it does cover this, I feel it's in the best interest of the town to replace those 2 outdated AC units that we just continually are fixing.
It's not CARES, that's correct, it's ARPA.
Or the ARPA, or ARCA, or whatever, what
ARPA.
is it? ARPA funds, that's what I meant. So.
And this
ARPA
is the third quote I wanted to bring up, and this is the real number. And this is to make it right. So I just wanted to add to it is I appreciate your support, but we've been unfairly treated for many years. And here's what it boils down to is that if you want to do it right, this is the real number. I know this is high, but if we're going to live here and we're going to work here and we're going to do what we need to do, this is the number that makes it happen. And we're replacing ductwork. We're doing a variety of different things to make it work. On the other quote that we had, it did not include ductwork. We need ductwork repair. On the 3rd floor, the ductwork is blown completely out. So those are numbers that we need to take a look at, but we would have to go through the procurement process. Both of those companies, one is Sourcewell, the other company, it has a contract that we can take a look at through the attorney's office to piggyback off of.
Okay, here's the question then. All right, so if we would just, can you go back to your $850,000 page there? Let's see here. Yeah, that one, hold on right there. All right, so if we were able to use our funds to cover the 110,000 to at least get the process started, and then budget out for the next year or two, fixing the ductwork on, I guess, per floor, how would that look?
Well,
well, go ahead, Rob.
What I was going to say is that we would need to, we can't put the cart ahead of the horse, meaning that if we were to replace the equipment in the equipment room and not fix the ductwork, then we're in a worse situation because we have a highly efficient piece of equipment that's feeding into an antiquated ductwork system that won't feed into the spaces. There's no VAVs to control the temperature. And so essentially we put a brand new, engine in the 1972 Yugo.
That's not a bad idea. The Z swaps are great. Anyways, JC, what are you thinking on this? For we have to get the ACs fixed. This building is one of those we have to do.
Of all the items on there, this is a critical path, to be honest with you. This number is big enough to choke a horse.
It is. Years of neglect has brought us to this point, though.
Absolutely. Rob, let me ask you a question. Does this include engineering, or do we have to do engineering on top of this?
This particular one should include everything because this is a Sourcewell project.
Okay.
So this should
that's the good news. Okay. Again,
let me say the caveat,
considering
it should include everything because that's what I
just as a reminder for the commission, we have about $3.2 million, a little under $3.3 million in ARPA funds that we can use basically for just about anything we want. There are some exceptions. The federal government was very strict on their rules at the very beginning, and basically about 2 months ago, they've kind of eased up on the small municipalities. So this project would qualify for the use of that. Again, I have to defer. I have to, say that, we do need a finance officer in place because when you use those funds, you have to do the proper reporting and get that properly documented, because when you fail to do that, that's when you get in trouble.
Right.
So
let me take this one. This, I believe, is an absolute necessity for the town. And I do agree with the town manager that we need the finance director in place to make sure all those checks and balances are. But we do have the funds available for this project. As expensive as this is where we're at cleaning this place up. And we can't work in this environment without having the air in these buildings. I don't know if you guys have been up to the 3rd floor, or even in my office
Even the second floor.
Second floor. But we keep spending money after money after money, just band-aiding this, and we're throwing money out the window doing that. And I think it's time to step up, make it right, and then we, maintained properly over the years, we won't have these problems. And I think it's a long-term investment for the town. So I think it's in best interest that we proceed forward, but we table this till we have the finance director in place. And once we do, we bring this back forward. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm confused. What do you mean by proceed forward but table? Meaning,
Well, we're going to table it till we have the finance director here. Once we have the finance director here, someone who can do all the paperwork that goes along with it, then we vote on it and we push it forward and we go ahead and replace the AC systems throughout the building. And the third floor has been without air for, Rob, maybe what, 2 months now?
Too long, sir. Way too long.
I mean, imagine sitting at home with no AC or coming to work with no air. You can't do that down here. So, and again, this is a huge expense, but this is what we were left with to clean up. So, and luckily we were able to get that money.
And to add on to the mayor's point, this is our town hall. I don't really see us having funds to acquire a new property or build a new place. So I think we, he's right. This is critical and we have to update it.
It's like, it's the ugly side of our job. I mean, we need to keep the water flowing. We need to keep the sewer pipes functioning, and we got to keep the flooding down in the town. But we can't do that unless we have a place to operate out of. And without town hall functioning properly, it goes down from there. So this is time that we need to invest a little bit back into town hall. I say a little bit, but this isn't little, but this is huge. So
proper maintenance. Moving on. All right, so we'll table this until we get a CFO. Correct. 15.7, utility locate selection and award recommendation.
We recommend to stick with Craig H. Smith. They were the only ones who came in on the RFP. We have a great relationship with them. They've been doing a great job by the town. As far as I know, during the time that I've been here, I support them because whenever I pick up the phone and call Steve, he picks up the phone, he answers, and if he can't talk right then, he gets right back to me. And locating service is very important to us because on more than one occasion, 6 to be exact, we've had to come out in the middle of the night and dig in a part of the town to where that right beside the force main is a gas line, a power line, as well as a communication line, all in the same area. So we need, utility locate services. I don't know why anybody didn't come in there, but we recommend we stick with them and continue to move forward.
So what do you need from us, Ralph?
Recommendation would be to put it on consent agenda at the next meeting.
Everyone okay with that?
Yeah, I'm okay with it.
Okay. Marlon, put that to consent, please. 15.8, preserve playground, splash pad, and exercise equipment.
Okay, excellent. I'm gonna make this brief. It was made clear to me that we need to improve our parks department and make it nicer. And I'm doing everything I can to make sure that we have a great place for our townspeople to communicate and get together. What we have is weathered, unfortunately, and there's a bunch of different varieties of sizes and costs and so on and so forth. So I have invited a representative of Game Time to come here and answer any questions if you have, but the actual numbers are here. Let me see if I could get it to blow up a little bit. No, I can't get the numbers to blow up, but everybody should have a copy of the actual numbers if you wanted to take a look at it. See if it made any sense, make it a little bigger. But we have a couple different varieties of sizes to meet all expectations for the replacement of our playgrounds. Also, I have a presentation for the actual splash pad. It was suggested that we could also include a splash pad where we have 3 different varieties, and I will go with just one to conserve time. But essentially what it boils down to, we can make a variety of these are a la carte splash pads, as you can see here. So there's a bunch of different varieties and a bunch of different costs associated with it. This is on the high end. I have a lower end, and this is without construction, because at $78,000, this will be equipment only, equipment and design. We would have to get someone local to actually plumb it and put it in the ground. And I have 2 cheaper or lesser expensive, not cheaper, but lesser expensive examples.
I just so you all know, this is something I've been working on. I have actually spoke with our senator about it after, our senator and our representative. Our representative wants me to submit this to her, and she will work on coming up with funding to help it. After I gave her the tour of our community and the tour of our park, she agreed that this is exactly what the town needed over there. So,
If I could make a recommendation, Mayor, I think with that, with just to dovetail on what you're saying right now, what you just said, I think I'll work with Rob and Public Works. We can get a plan together for this particular area, the playground equipment and the splash pad. Come up with a plan, a cost associated with it, including installation.
well, you got to keep the play equipment and splash pad 2 separate things. So
Yeah, we're gonna have to. We'll separate. We'll separate them. But I think we can. I mean, we'll present that package to the senator and the representative. For next budget session, for their consideration. At the same time, when the FERDAP grant opens up again, or any of the other park or outdoor grants open up again, we can apply as well for the playground equipment and or the splash pad, depending on what can get funded.
Right, and I think that's fine. Can you, Rob, put a whole detailed plan together for the splash pad?
Yeah,
Just for the splash pad or for both?
No, we got to do the splash pad separate from the playground, so they have to be 2 separate items.
We'll make them like 2 separate projects.
Yeah, they have to be 2 separate projects. So, but I have a feeling we're going to be able to get the funding for the splash pad at least. So, and hopefully we can refresh our playground equipment. When I look at it, I look at it as a place that I want to bring my family to. I want my kids to play at. Rob, same thing for you. A place you want to bring your kids to play. So,
The one caution I will advise the commission of, when you have a splash pad, depending on the type of splash pad, some of them have water filtration systems. You have to get the Department of Health involved, and you have to be constantly monitoring. And the other one is like a freshwater system, and that does waste a lot of water. So we'll have to take into account some of the ancillary costs, some of the operating costs of these pieces of equipment.
Like all the swimming pools have that same restriction here in town.
Yeah, absolutely. But it isn't cheap. So I just want to, and it's annually. It's not just installing it and you have a cost to buy it. It's the maintaining it. So I want to make sure that we get all the details, so you're fully aware and fully informed.
All right.
So just to piggyback on what JC said, yes, we'll definitely get together and separate them all. And to his point, the splash pad from that perspective is that we would operate either off of city water, well water, or we would have a recirculating water system.
Okay. Yep. Put it together. Thank
Yes,
you.
my
You know
pleasure.
the lifespan of these equipments, Rob?
Say again?
You know the lifespan, how long they would typically last before?
I do not know the lifespan of any of this equipment, to be perfectly honest with you. I think, you know, we can extend the lifespan of most of our equipment if we had an effective PM program in place, and that's what I'm working towards now. So you could see the value of the equipment based on the preventative maintenance measures that are taken. We could get, you know, useful life.
Okay. We'll send that to consent. Marlon, consent, please.
And
That actually, are you gonna send that to consent, or let's come back with the plan?
that's just direction. It's not a voting item.
Get the information.
Okay, all right, perfect.
All right, no old business, new business. Discussion of food drive, Mayor Jacobs.
All right, there's the community is still interested in having food drives. Here's the thing, they're expensive. They not only involve a lot of time from volunteers, but staff. We have the volunteers available to do them. I have a couple thoughts on this and the reason I brought it here was just for discussion on how you want to proceed, and we all get a consensus on this. So my idea was to do a food drive with Feeding South Florida at least once every quarter. That gives us one every 3 months here in town. We could plan it so they fall right around the holiday times. So, you know, one here. We'd have to go over calendar to figure that out to make it work, but there's a way we could do that. Second of all, what we could do is with Feeding South Florida, if anyone is actually in need of food, they can make an appointment at any time to go to Feeding South Florida to pick food up. So we can use our Everbridge to send out notices to let people know if they're really in need, they can head over there and get some assistance. So there's a couple options. It's up to you guys on what you want to do. I don't mind doing it every quarter, but doing them every week, that's out of the question. And even once a month, it's still a lot of work. So it's up to you guys. What do you guys feel?
Yeah, I think quarterly works. Yeah.
Okay.
Quarterly? All right. So is Joy on?
I
Joy
am.
Brown? Okay. Hey, can you sit down and put a plan together to do these quarterly? And then at the next commission meeting, we'll discuss the calendar dates and have it all together so we can vote to approve it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Sir, if I could.
Yeah.
Yeah, so can we make it a standard operating procedure that I be brought in on those meetings, because I'm short staffed over there in Parks and Rec, and we want to make sure that we give you the proper support in wherever you decide you have your events.
Yeah, not a problem.
Yeah, but I definitely got to be read in because these guys got doctor's appointments and a variety of different things. And then, you know, maybe we can pick up some volunteers, you know, other people like that to get in and get it done.
Yeah, we have a great deal of volunteers that are even calling, asking when we're doing the next one. So our volunteers are always happy to help out with these food drives.
Yeah, I was talking more about the
I know what you mean. Staff, not a problem.
Yeah.
We'll make sure you're on it.
All right, thanks, sir.
Yep.
Okay, 19, town clerk comments. 19.1, Office of Inspector General, final finding.
Yes, good evening, everyone. First of all, I'd like to say that how much I enjoy and I love my job. So, you know, this is, you know, affirmation to the work that this department has been doing, and to go ahead and express to the commission how much I appreciate all your support and being able to bring the department into compliance. And the reason why I brought the report is because I did want to go over some of the things that is on this report, because I think they're important for you to know what my requirements are and how I am mandated to make sure that I keep the town in compliance. And if you have in front of you the report. And one of the things that sticks out to me is in page 3, because one of the issues that we have, and what page 3 is talking about, is having a clerk commissioner that's holding a dual role, and going ahead and making sure that, you know, we need to go ahead and make the changes to the charter to be able to fix that section. When one of the issues that I had was trying to get those documents signed off, because previously the clerk commissioner would sign the resolutions and the ordinances. And when you're trying to reproduce these items and the people are no longer around, we weren't able to do that. So one of the things we did while I was here in the town was we made that change to make sure that moving forward, it's the actual clerk that goes ahead and puts the documents together to be the one to sign. If you look at page 6, where it says the town did not provide reasonable notice of its public meetings, when we have these regular meetings are to be advertised 7 to 10 days prior to the meeting. The other ones, special meetings and emergency meetings, don't have those requirements. But I want to make sure that everybody understands what I have to comply with, and make sure that I am following these guidelines, because the Office of the Inspector General does look at what has been posted on the website. They also look to make sure that it's been posted downstairs, and having everything in a timely manner. The purpose for it is to make sure that our residents have the time to look over these documents, and they're available to them. On page 7, I wanted to bring to your attention that according to the documents they provided, the town did not, on paragraph, it states on March 13th, 2019, after the county charter's requirements to post notices, agendas, and meetings backup online went into effect, OIG special agent went to the town hall to attend the commission workshops and meetings. They observed that the town had noticed the workshop meeting by posting a 3-page agenda in the glass wall case at town hall, but the town did not notice the meeting or provide the agenda and meeting backup materials on the town website as required by county charter. All these requirements that I keep bringing up, it's just so that you know that they are being done. That one of the first things I did when I got here was to purchase 3 of the glass cases to be placed on the outside of the building. When I got here, there was only 1 glass case. It was inside the building. And what that means is the person would have to come inside to look at them, rather than being able to, when the town is closed or at any moment, just drive up and look at what we had posted. So I wanted to let you know, these requirements and what they mean. The other thing I wanted to let you know is that the request for all these items was requested on November 7th of 2018. So they have been looking at us since that period of time and going ahead and staying on top of the town. One of the things that was mentioned on page 11 is where it states on August 22, 2019, it said that the town attorney at that time went ahead and provided them a statement which said, I cannot stress enough that it is essential that the minutes be prepared, approved, and made available to the public in order for the town to be in compliance with state law. The attorney included a copy of his May 17, 2019 memorandum and sample action minutes. This was what was done, what the previous attorney had brought to the commission's attention, and it was not taken care of. In addition to that, there's also a section, and this I want to read to you because I want you to see the difference between the previous administration and the town clerk's office today. All documents, this is what was said about the previous administration and the way this office was. All documents kept piling on and piling on. I did not have a chance to go through these documents. I have not worked in that office for 6 months to a year. The office got to that bad in 2007. I did not notify anyone that the office was in that conditions because I thought I could go in with an assistant to get everything organized. It is not acceptable, and I take full responsibility for the condition of those rooms. I tried to get a handle on it and I could not. We have been, especially the clerk's office, under investigation and so much stress since 2017. We have had issues with the town manager. There was never time, and there are meetings upon meetings. That was a statement that was given by the prior clerk. And on page 15, which states, on November 4th, 2019, the interim deputy town clerk, she issued a report based on, oh, sorry, that's me. On December 4th, 2019, as interim deputy town clerk, she issued a report based on observations she made during her first week on the job. In the report, she identified short-term goals that included posting public notices for all meetings of a given month at the beginning of that month, the orderly submission of agenda items, providing for more time between workshops and regular meetings, specifically for ordinances and resolutions, controlling agenda changes, 60 days to produce the approved minutes, and 2 readings for ordinances with the second reading advertising in the newspaper 10 days prior. Long-term goals include codifying existing ordinances, logging resolutions, cleaning and organizing storage areas, disposal of documents per the state retention schedule, and an ordinance outlining meeting protocols, clerk duties, and records management. Then I want to go ahead and just let you know that at the end of that section, that page 15, it says the intern town clerk worked with the employee hired in July 2019 to work to catch up on meeting minutes over several months. As they completed a batch of meeting minutes, they presented them to the commission for final review and approval. In this way, that marched outstanding meeting minutes through adoption. I cannot do the work alone. Susie has been extremely helpful and has taken that bull by the horns and has been incredible to get our town into compliance when it comes to our minutes and the documentation. So this is a team effort. It's not a one-man show, but I'm very proud of the work we've accomplished. Section 16, it says that, page 16, where it says section 3, maintenance of public records. It states that I went ahead and I instituted a resolution. It's 2020-101, which create and maintains a records management manual. In addition to that, I went ahead and I had training for the employees, not only in public records requests, but also in records management.
Marlon,
Yeah.
Can you give us the Cliff Notes version of this? We all got a copy of it.
Really?
Yeah.
This is my moment. I know
this is your moment.
I'm gonna shine.
I'm very proud of you.
Yes, you are.
I know.
And I'm showing you
Hold
why.
on. Commissioner Hodgkins, I know you're unaware of what Ray and I walked into when we came into this town, but the clerk's office was 5 feet of garbage stacked floor to ceiling. And that is no joke. It took months to clean up just those offices. Not only that, we had the OIGs all over this town. Minutes were 2 years behind. I don't know why. Can you hear that? Okay. So the clerk's office was in absolute disarray. And Marlon Mattel brought the clerk's office back in compliance completely where it needs to be functioning. Now our charter is that a
Marlon, Mayor, I'm sorry. Marlon, can you mute? There's an echo coming from yours.
Not only, there we go. Not only was the clerk's office was complete disarray. Well, we got it back in check. the OIG was all over the town because our records were out of order, our minutes were not updated, things weren't published. She went the extra mile on getting that department back together. Yolanda helped with getting that office emptied and organized. This was an absolute disaster when we got here. It's no other better way to describe it. And she's done a phenomenal job. Our charter is out of date. The previous administration or commission never wanted that updated. And so things like the clerk commissioner position are things that need removed out of our charter and things done properly, but it's never happened. So now we're having I believe it's our first charter review since 57, right, Marlon? Yep, our first charter review. When these are supposed to happen, what's that?
It was one in the 80s.
Okay, there's one in the 80s. So this is our second charter review since 1957. They're supposed to happen approximately every 10 years. So to tell you how far behind this town is and where we're at now, she has done a phenomenal job at getting it back together.
Well, I just want to finish with this.
Okay, here we go. Oh boy.
Guys, give me I don't ever talk, so just grab
Wait
me
a
these
second.
Wait a minute, what was that?
I just wanted to let you know that when the OIG requested the minutes and agendas and so on, they went ahead, the previous administration produced only 36 minutes. Since I've been here on February 2021, we produced to them 76 minutes from 2017 to 2018, and an additional 66 minutes for the year of 2019. So, and the very last thing, which is where I love, it's where it states, because my department touches everybody, almost all departments here in the town, and I'm happy with what I do. I'm grateful, and I think I do a pretty damn good job. It says here, the town clerk told us in February 2021 that she was in the process of making additional improvements, and we confirmed that she has effected them. We observed that the town's online calendar of meetings continues to be maintained and current as of March 2022. This page includes public search features for information regarding regular commission meetings, charter review committee meetings, public notices, RFP documents, and procurement review committee meetings, budget hearing meetings, pension board meetings, planning and zoning board meetings, workshop meetings, special commission meetings, code enforcement, special magistrate, which thank you very much, Jocelyn, you do an amazing job. I really appreciate it. Citizens advisory board meetings, emergency commission meeting, and executive meetings as well. Also, as of March 2022, there remained a functioning online search portal for the town's archives of meeting agendas, minutes, as the town clerk stated in February of 2021 that she was working on. Conclusion, although the OIG has residual concerns about the lack of proof for several ordinances, we are satisfied that the town has now reversed its course on the meeting notices, meeting minutes, and public records. The deputy town clerk, the town attorney, and interim town manager, the former town manager, and 3 commissioners whose actions are described in this memorandum no longer serve as employees or officials to the town. The new administration, with special recognition to the town clerk, has effected possible changes that address the issues raised during the investigation. We are satisfied that the ongoing and systematic issues we observed regarding timely and reasonable meetings notices and prompt production of meeting minutes and the proper maintenance and production of official records have been solved. So I am very excited about this. I know that I took a lot of your time, but my job does involve so many departments, and I am so involved in all the different things to make sure that everything is in compliance. And I don't think that sometimes I look like a pencil pusher, but there's a lot involved in my job. So thank you, and thank you all for making my job so much easier. I really do appreciate it. I'm done.
All right, now I'm going to step in and say a little bit. Thanks again for all your hard work. Commissioner Hodgkins, you don't understand. 12 meetings a year, 12 workshops a year. That's what we're supposed to have. Ray and I, in 2019, there were 56 meetings. This insanity is where we were at. We've come a very, very long way, and it's taken a lot of staff that we have here to fix this place. So, all right, that's all I have for you, Marlon. Thank you again for your hard work.
You're
Thanks,
welcome.
Brian. I'm gonna be 30 minutes late getting home. I'm still at work. But yeah, we're proud of you. There's no question, once we first started comparing that time to now, it's a big difference when it comes to record keeping and staying in compliance with our records. That's all thanks to you.
Thank you very much. I couldn't do it though without my team, without Susie, without Warner. I really have amazing individuals that we work together, and that's what makes a difference. So thank you, guys.
And thank you, Marlon.
All right, number 20, attorney comments.
Oh, how could you follow that? No, I hope everybody has a great night.
Okay. Town manager comments.
I'll be brief. Mayor, Vice Mayor, Commissioner, I received the second proposal from a finance budget. There are a number of deadlines we have to meet, trim notices, and I think it would be beneficial if we bring somebody on board to help us through this particular time, as well as ARPA financial reporting to help us through at this time. Christian has done an amazing job. I want to really recognize her. She's done an amazing job. However, I think we would be setting her up to fail if we don't bring in some help, especially when it comes to closing out the audit and getting the budget started. So I do have two proposals. I'd like to perhaps have a special meeting if possible to do that. I don't know if we have time. I don't know if we want to wait until the next commission meeting so I can present it for your consideration.
Any special meeting would have to be virtual, and we can't do that. So
yeah. So I can see if we can push it to the next commission meeting, which is in a couple of weeks, Marlon.
The 11th.
Yeah, the 11th, and it would only be for until the time we can bring somebody in here. But scheduling you guys to interview and well, first of all, receiving the applications in, setting up interviews, and getting that process going, it may take a few months, especially from the Canadians that have left or are just about to leave. They had paid for the tie downs, and they're seeking, they're not going to be coming back ever again. So they're seeking reimbursement of that tie down inspection fee that we charge, which is about $25. I will compile a list of that and put those onto the commission for approval as well, hopefully at the next meeting. Other than that, that's what I have. Kept it brief. Oh, tried to.
All right, commissioner comments. Clerk Commissioner Hodgkin.
No, don't have anything. Thank you.
I don't have anything either. Mayor Jacobs.
I do. Hey, I want to bring back up the building department, the cars. Bring that back up for the
to $24,000. That allowed us to go to either vendor.
This conference will now be recorded.
So you're asking for both vehicles?
No, I was asking for one, but the conversation ensued to have two vehicles instead of one. And I have no issues with that. Obviously, there was conversation between the stakeholders on this meeting and for the proposals about doing either two at the same time or only one. So at the time, which I believe was the last accepted one, that we can order one right now, and in order to satisfy the concerns that the town manager and the concerns that the Clerk Commissioner Hodgkin has, we can maybe order the second vehicle or pre-order the second vehicle, knowingly that it might take 4 or 5 months to order, to obtain that vehicle after the next fiscal year, next fiscal year.
Okay, so
I'm not sure that's what it was discussed.
Did you detail out the fact that the building department has its own independent budget separate from the town's budget?
I believe that was as well as Clerk Commissioner Hoskins. I believe they're aware of that.
Okay, so what is it you're wanting for the vehicles then, for the department?
I would like to have the vehicles, if I cannot find the vehicles because of the supply issues, so the commissioners can allow us to obtain the vehicles, at least to give us the opportunity up to $24,000, so we can go to different vendors, or not only to vendor number 1 or vendor 2 because of the.
Commissioner Hodgkins? No, yes. Okay.
The other thing, just so you guys know, it's TBN. The phone just does not stop ringing with the emails and calls. If you guys know any residents over there and you want to take the calls, I'd appreciate it. But we've put together a list of services. The county's put together a list of services for the residents over there. That is the only thing we can do to help those people. We can't interfere with private business as it is a private matter. But they are continually coming to the town asking for assistance, and I send them to Joy. Is Joy still on?
I'm here.
Pembroke Road, what is it? It's not emergency services. What's the name of the place over there?
Broward County.
Yeah, the county has services on Pembroke Road. It's like a half mile or so away from the mobile home park. If you
That's
guys
the human services department.
that's it. If you guys get any calls, requests, refer everyone over there. They are much aware of the situation, and they have also compiled a list to help these people out. Just so you know, it's not stopping. So, and it's a hard process for everyone to go through. So, here, what else do I have? Joy, did you have something for me? Do you have anything?
I do. I don't think you're going to be here on May 5th, but other commissioners can probably attend this ribbon cutting for the new business that's coming into the town. It's going to be on May 5th at 5 p.m. at 2900 Country Club Lane in Pembroke Park, Florida. So if any of the commissioners would like to, attend, they can. Also the town manager, if you're available, if you can attend.
And I'll have my wife be there in my absence.
Joy, is that
May 5th, I think the date.
No, those are two different ribbon cuttings. We have one on May 5th. I believe it's Cure Leaf.
The company is called Cure Leaf.
It's Cure Leaf. And then on May 12th, we have a ribbon cutting for the Wawa Hospital and Storage Complex. So we have two this month. And if you guys are available, I would like to see you there. I will be at the one on the 12th, and my wife will be attending in my absence to the one on the 5th.
Also, I need to discuss with you guys if the half a page ad that we need to send to the league, Broward Leagues, it's due May 1st. And I want to discuss with you what would you guys like on the ad so I can send it over to Sally.
Well, that ad is to take a moment and showboat our town. It's to pitch our town to everyone and all the improvements that we have and everything going on here. So, we can include something about our new police department in there. We could, there's a whole lot. We only have 3 commissioners. You can fit those on there. There's a lot of different things you guys can do with that. But it's basically a sales ad for the town and why we are such a great community that we are. And maybe we could attach a copy of the town clerk's OIG report, into that. Oh, she paid attention. All right. So, but that's all the ad's about. If you could put something together like that. Guys, do you have any ideas you want in there?
Oh, that sounds great, what you said.
Okay.
Just anything to make the town shine.
So, Yeah, that's all I have for that. Do you have anything else?
For me?
And just, okay, so the rest of mine, just so you guys know, we never hired a PIO or administrative assistant yet. That position still stands. So Joy is still doing all the work for me as the commission's assistant, my assistant. So she's man, we talk every morning. It just every morning, 2-3 times a day. It doesn't end, does it, Joy? Nope.
No, sir.
All right. So I got one more thing. You know, when it comes to starting this meeting tonight, I was late because I was in training, which everyone was made aware of that I was going to be late. I've sat in there waiting for other commissioners who some didn't know they had meetings and showed up late. You know, we've had to wait on each other from time to time. I think it's a little disrespectful to start the meeting without me, knowing that I was going to be a little late to this meeting. But it's not a commission meeting; it is a workshop.
Mayor, I apologize. That was my fault.
Okay.
That was, I'm so sorry. That wasn't the commissioners. I went ahead and I had told them to, I had told Vice Mayor Taville to go ahead and start the meeting because since I had all that top part to read off, that, you know, usually is not, you know, pertinent to any kind of conversations, I had, you know, recommended that we start. So I do apologize. Was not
Okay.
meant.
Well, let's make the effort to make sure we have a full commission when we even do a workshop. I think it's in best interest of all of us here because then I had to play catch up and we had to go back on a couple items that I missed that I can only see on the agenda. So that's all I have for today. I will be there for our next meeting and our workshop.
2.1 Pension Board meeting Wednesday, May 11, 2022 at 6:45 p.m. And our regular Pension Board meeting, May 11, May 11, 2022 at 7 p.m. A lot of static. Somebody has to mute. 24, adjournment.
Adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Meeting adjourned.